Hey YouTube, welcome back. I have an old wrecker on this back of this old truck sitting here for a few years now, just sitting here doing nothing. I got the old slings for it. Obviously it needs new rubber. I think people just use conveyor belts for that stuff. You can get slabs of that around. I even have the old bumper there for it that the sling mounts to. So thinking about mounting that on my old farm truck. Oh, don't mind the mess here. I've been cutting trees and the windstorm I think came through, so or the ice storm. So I was thinking about just mounting it on here for now, just so I have something to whatever, if I use it or not, just kind of look neat on there. This thing's falling right apart, rusty, crusty. Like, this is all, I don't know, it's no holes, it's solid still, it's just crust on there. Undercoat paint, whatever's coming off. I think about just mounting that old wrecker on there for something to do, and you know, if I had to, I could pull cars around the yard, stuff like that, and lift whatever I needed to. I guess anything, not only cars, you can lift other stuff, trailers, whatever. So let's see if I can get that done. Let's get at that. So we'll see if the old skid steer will start up. Sometimes this thing doesn't like to start in the cold. And I've got it, I just plugged it in half an hour or so ago, but this thing does not like to run in the cold weather. And the battery's dead. Yeah, so I haven't started in a while. So I'm gonna have to put a charger on that, and we'll get back to that in a bit. Alright, so we got this thing lifted off the truck. Skid steer's finally started. We're gonna try to set it on the other truck. See how that goes. I got all kinds of logs there. I got a little sawmill here. Hard to do. I don't have my tripod with me today, so it's going to be hard. I'm just going to take a few. I'm going to move it manually around and see what happens. See what happens here. Do this with one hand on the skid steer, but I think that's pretty much where it's probably going to go. I think I would bolt this. This was the old box mount that was rotted off. I'm going to remove these, cut them off, and I'm sure this will bolt right through where the box was on both sides, and then the back will bolt down through the frame. And that should be it. It overhangs, I think, enough. Not even, yeah. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Get this disconnected. Chain off it. Alright, so I got this thing on there. I removed the one box mount that was like that. Cut it off. There was no way those bolts were coming out. Cut it right off. I'm going to slide this up on there and try to bolt it to there. That's the plan. And then wherever it lands back here, we'll drill through and bolt it back there. Yeah, I could just weld it to the frame, but whatever. It's just an old yard truck. Anyway, something to do today. We finally getting some nice weather. It's not sunny or anything, but it's mild. By mild, I'm talking like plus 5 or 6 or 7, something like that. It's not crazy mild. I'm still in a sweater and pants, but anyway, I'm going to continue cutting that off, and then I'm going to slide this whole thing forward. I cut the one side off here so I could just get some access to the bolt. There's the bolt. The nut is actually incorporated in this bracket, so once I cut through here, it should just fall out like the other side did. Not a big deal. All right, fell off as soon as I cut through it. See it on the ground there, all rusted up. Like I said, this truck doesn't go on the road. It's strictly the yard truck now. So anyway, I'm gonna get this thing slid forward and see what happens, see where it sits. All right, it's lined up on there pretty good. I think that's where it's supposed to be sitting. Eventually, if I wanted to, I could put I'm gonna drill that hole in there bigger. These two holes line up perfectly with those holes. So I'm gonna tip this back and drill those holes out bigger because I got some bigger hardware that I'm gonna use. Let me go find, here it is. I got some nice hardware here. So, not that it's, you know, whatever, it is what it is. Like I said, it doesn't leave the property, but it'd be nice, you know. I've got the show you, I got the snow plow on this thing to do the driveways with and everything, and then be nice, you know, something gets stuck in a ditch or something, maybe able to, this truck's 4x4 and it runs pretty good, so be able to pull something out anyway, lift stuff, pull stuff, bang stuff, whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna tip this back and drill a few holes and see if I can get it bolted on. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to win a free t-shirt. Giving away some t-shirts and some stickers. Rust Bucket Customs. That's bolted on, really nice hardware. It's bolted on at the front. I mean, for yard use, I wouldn't even have to bolt this back on. The weight of the car really just sits down on the frame, and it's not like I'm going to be taking abrupt turns or this thing's going to be yanking sideways and stuff. I will probably, I see it doesn't come all the way over, I will probably weld a piece on to come over here and probably just do U-bolts is what I'm thinking on the back here. I'll make up some U-bolts or threaded rod or something to hold it down. But other than that, it's fine. It needs a new pump. Obviously, this thing's been sitting a long time, so it's gonna need a new pump. Somebody made a homemade lever on it there, but I can get a cheap pump on Amazon or Princess Auto. It did come with this extra pump, which I'm thinking is probably garbage, but I could try it, I guess. Hook a battery to it. Came with some tow hooks, little J hooks, and a couple sets of J hooks. Lots of squirrel nest in here, I guess. But yeah, this pump, I'm thinking, I don't know, it might work. The guy told me it worked, but it's been sitting open like that forever. They're not that expensive on Amazon. I have one off a dump trailer that I could maybe make work, actually. Yeah, you know what? It would work. I have one, actually. I forgot about that. It's brand new off a dump trailer. The dump trailer was junk. The guy had just put a new pump on it, and I kept the pump. So he told me this one worked as well. I haven't even tried it, to be honest. It's he welded a lever on there to go up and down, but I could hook a battery too before I try changing it around. And the cool thing about this is if you have this in your truck, in a bed of a pickup or something, it's got 4 pins, one in each corner, or 2 pins. 3 pins. So it's got this pin and then these 2 pins. The whole boom comes off, and then just this platform, just the square tubing and the angle iron stay on in your truck. So it is removable if you wanted to use it as a truck, and then sometimes as a tow truck, I guess, for whatever. So it is a cool little setup. I do have the bumper. I have to cut this bumper off, I guess. So I do have the bumper and the sling. I have a couple of slings for it, actually. I'll show you. I'll go over here. I'll show you some slings I have for it. I think I showed them in the first part of the video, but anyway. Big pile of logs here. Lots of wood around. I got a little sawmill there. I'm gonna start sawmilling them up soon. The weather's now that it's getting nicer. So here are the slings. One second. So yeah, there's a sling there. And then there's a sling here. So this is the top of the sling. That would hook to the top of the boom up in the air with to the cable, which would pull it up and down. And then these brackets bolt to the bumper right there on each side. And then the bumper bolts to the truck. And so you drive the car up, you pack the truck into this car, so it has tension on the sling. You hook up J hooks to the control arms of the car, and then you hook the J hooks right here on the sling to these hooks, and then you lift the car, and then the car suspends theoretically on the rubber, and then you put your safety chains on, tow it away. So that's an extra one I have there with it. So I think the bumper's upside down right now, so you can put your extra chains in the bumper. You slide them through them, lock them in, obviously right there. The bumper's upside down. Yeah, it's an old school wrecker. So it's, what does that say? Some sort of manufacturing on there. Anyway, so that'll be kind of neat to have a little tow truck around. You know, it wouldn't work on newer cars with the plastic bumpers and stuff, obviously. It would just crush the plastic. Oh, the sun's coming out. Look at that. Wow. So fortunate today. See the sun once in a blue moon around here. Anyway, it wouldn't work on the new cars. It would work actually on the new cars, but you would just, you know, scratch up the paint and blister the paint and spider web it. But if you're just junking or scrapping the car or whatever, it would work on a newer car. But steel bumper cars for sure. That's what they're designed to do. I just like the look of the old sling hanging out the back on the truck. Looks kind of neat to me. So it's not going to stay on that truck. I'm just putting it on there so it's not just sitting here rusting away. Maybe I'll paint it up and stuff. And I was thinking with that old plow truck, if I come across an old 50s cab or something like that, I might throw it on there and then make a little bed for it around the boom. Or if I find a better truck, I could put the boom on that truck. But yeah, so yeah, that's it. It's mounted on there. Like I said, I prefer older style booms. This isn't like an antique looking one or anything. I mean, it's older than the wheel lifts and all that, but I prefer the, you know, either with the two round ones coming out or the old Holmes 440 boom, something like that. Even if I'm not going to use it, I just like the look of old tow trucks and stuff. I think they're pretty neat. So yeah. So that's it. That's the video for today. Quick little video of me putting this thing on and farting around, getting the skid steer started and all that stuff, and getting ready for some nice weather. Clean up the yard a bit and do all that business. So if you like, comment, subscribe, all that business, and I hope everyone's having a great day out there and get out and enjoy some nice weather. All right, thanks for watching.